From Fort Worth, Texas, the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series is ready to go 200 laps here in the very first week of the 2022 playoffs. Mike Wright and everybody else in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series is ready to rock and roll as we are ready to go here in the Lonestar State. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Independence Racing Network. It's been a long season so far, 29 regular season weeks since the first green flag dropped back in February. And here we are on the 26th of September with the playoffs underway. I'm Dave Regal, and I'll be with you every step of the way, from the green flag to the checkered flag on the Independence Racing Network. And folks, glad to have you all with us. Speaking of Mike Wright, our points leader, of course, coming into the playoffs, here he is now laying down his second lap in qualifying. And tell you what, he sits atop the pile in points, and he sits atop the pile right now in qualifying. Of course, we're going to pull up some fun information here as far as, let's see if we can get that all right here. Our playoff information. Have a look here at the playoff structure. Of course, as we had mentioned just a moment ago, Mike Wright sits atop the pile. We see Bobby Blazer just behind him in second with Aaron Mack, Eugenio Alonso, then, of course, Bennett Allen, Jeff Carson, RP Allen, your commissioner, Bob Nestor, the Tuesday night NASCAR Truck Series commissioner, John Bawalda, the Sunday night NASCAR Cup Series commissioner, Chris Claude, Brandon Minto, and Zachary Vaughn. Your top 12 here that move into the playoffs here at Texas Motor Speedway in 2022. Of course, after a few weeks, we will have a reshuffling, and we'll talk about that right here. As, of course, we have our race tonight. Basically, this round of the playoffs is going to be 3 weeks. It opens tonight here at Texas Motor Speedway, moves on to Talladega, Alabama next week at Talladega Super Speedway, and then moves to an interesting move, the Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval, which I have to be honest, folks, definitely something that I don't expect every year. So kind of exciting if you think about it, where, you don't usually get to see a road course in your playoffs, but all kinds of things can change in the playoffs, which is why we do have the reshuffle as we take a look here at Matthew Helm out of Dayton, Ohio. Of course, the birthplace of flight, the birthplace of the Wright brothers. They may have flown in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina down there in the Outer Banks, but they were born in Dayton, Ohio. And so is Matthew Helm here in the number 25 Toyota Camry, as he goes 12th fastest now on the leaderboard. Zach Osborne wrapping up his qualifying effort in the number 16 1110 Toyota Supra. Ian Humphreys on his second lap hops all the way up to 9th, gets himself into the top 10, and Joey Savage, he's here in the 02 Toyota Camry. A lot of Toyotas in the field tonight. Not so many Fords, a lot of Toyotas and Chevrolets here in this league. As Joey gets it to 14th, and now as he's finishing up his second lap, we'll see if he was able to improve on that time. He crosses the start-finish line, and he does get himself up to 12th position on the leaderboard. Corey Burkett, who had some basically wrecking troubles earlier on in the season, has really brought it together here in the most recent weeks of the season. And Corey Burkett definitely redeeming himself as he goes 18th fastest, just ahead of Ethan Flanagan and Jeff Carson. Not sure what happened to Jeff, as he had a great run last night in the Cup Series, and we will get to that in just a few moments. But last night's Cup Series race over on Sim Racing Media, a few issues technically, and unfortunately that stream got dropped midway through, but I know that Mr. James Riles and I over at Sim Racing Media will have that laid down. Taking a look right now at Tony Burt, who's decided that There he is, getting into the number 4 Chevrolet Camaro from Hodgesville, West Virginia, getting ready to go out on his qualifying effort. Tony Burt, one of the best drivers. I got to be honest. When I say best drivers, I mean one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. I have yet to meet him in person. I hope to do so in the near future. But every time I cross paths with Tony, it just seems like I'm hanging out with an old friend. He's just such a great guy. He really is. Taking a look at last night's results, Matt White brought home the checkered flag in the Cup Series with Alex Murray in second, Joseph Causey in third, Ryan Samuelson in fourth, and Nolan Hodgson in fifth, rounding out your top 5. Joe Stafford, the pride of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, who I do not see in the field tonight, did fairly well, just finished barely outside the top 5, finishing there in 6th position. But a good race overall as Tony Burt's getting wound up here on his first lap. And I'm pretty sure that after we see this first lap, we're going to see him really heat it up and hold this white line as he comes through turns 1 and 2. Tony, right now, 22nd, not really taking that low line that we've seen from so many other drivers tonight. So he kind of holds it high, maybe a little tight getting into turn 2, as now he's getting ready to dive into turn 3. Again, not holding it real close to the white line early, as it's a big arc to get into turn 3. And as Tony rolls out of 4 and gets ready to cross the start-finish line, we are going to see him in 22nd on the leaderboard. So Matt Mackin, John Crow Sr., John Bawaldo III, and Lorne Jones, the only 4 drivers yet to qualify tonight. Just about 2 minutes left in qualifying as Andrew Jones brings it down on the cool-down lap here around to pit road, as he needs to, of course, remember where the entrance to pit road is. Now Lorne Jones getting ready in the number 11 Cheetos machine. From New Smyrna Beach, Florida, of course, home of a great racetrack down there in New Smyrna. And I'll tell you what, one of the things as we go through the night, we're going to be watching so many of our folks here, in and around the iRacing community from Florida, and of course Hurricane. Hold on one second. Of course, Tampa Bay just about in the crosshairs for this hurricane, and it seems almost like, New Smyrna going to be part of that, as New Smyrna on the East Coast, but the way that this storm is ready to cross Florida, it's still going to be vicious. So our thoughts and prayers are going to be with our friend Lorne Jones as, of course, I assume he's preparing for a hurricane. But tonight, as he bobbles coming out of 3 into 4. Speaking of dirt tracking, Lorne Jones holds it together. That's definitely going to cost him in time. But anyway, as the rest of the world is holding their breath and waiting for this hurricane to bear down in the Sunshine State, Lorne Jones from New Smyrna Beach, Florida, said, "You know what? Tonight I'm going out on track. There's no sense in worrying about the things that I can't control." So we're going to pull him up in Discord as soon as he's finished here. Maybe not, as qualifying has just ended. And that means that we should be gritting up here at Texas Motor Speedway. Going to take a look here. Going to take a look here at our starting grid, as Mike Wright and Bennett Allen going to be on row number 1. There's Mike Wright, our points leader. Keep in mind that your playoff drivers all going to be marked with a purple bumper, like a bluish purplish Xfinity logo on the car. Those 12 drivers. It's going to be on, as you can see here. Let's see if we can get a closer look at Mike Wright's car. You're going to see these purple bumpers here wrapping the car. Of course, R.J. Allen not using that at the moment. Bob Nestor does have it right here. So you can see these purple bumpers and that banner. And, of course, here on the rear of the car, you can also see just there on that right-hand side there on Bob Nestor's number 29 relative property Toyota Camry, Supra, sorry. You can see that purple color there on that back wing of the car. .200 laps, the scheduled distance tonight. Stage break's going to be at the conclusion of lap number 45 and lap number 90, with, of course, that big 110-lap parade to the end. Taking a look right now at Mike Wright as the drivers are now forming up to line up. Row number 1 on the pole going to be Mike Wright in the number 98 Ford Mustang, with Bennett Allen on the outside starting in P2. Row number 2 made up of R.P. Allen and Brandon Minto in the number 12 Ford Mustang. Michael Astuto and Bob Nestor make up row 3, while Zach Osborne and Doug Argabright going to be bringing up row number 4. Row number 5 and rounding out your starting top 10 going to be Andrew Jones and Ian Humphreys in the number 32 Toyota Supra. Chad Sanner and Eugenio Alonso make up row number 6. Eugenio, a playoff driver himself, ready to duel here in the Lone Star State. Row number 7 made up of Joey Savage and Matthew Helm, and Justin Prater sit in row number 8. Row number 9 going to be Chris Claude and Corey Burkett, with Ethan Flanagan and Jeff Carson in row number 10. Our good friend Tony Burt and Lauren Jones going to be making up row number 11, as row 12 going to consist of John Crow and John Bawalda III. Starting shotgun on the field tonight, out here in the number 01 Chevrolet Camaro, going to be Matt Mackin from Cleveland, Ohio. So all things considered, it's going to be a busy night. Looks like Anthony Paggio going to be starting from pit road. An interesting decision, but probably a good strategy nonetheless, as we had an early caution last night in the Cup Series. But right now, Mike Wright, we're going to see if we can get a hold of Mike here in the broadcast booth. And he is in his race chat. We don't want to interfere this early in the race. But I'll tell you what, folks, it's been an exciting week preparing for this race. It's been exciting watching these guys get themselves ready. It's a big night here on the first night of the playoffs in the 2022 Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series playoffs. Of course, my first solo job here in the broadcast booth calling a playoff race. All kinds of money on the line tonight for these drivers, as Mike Wright getting himself settled here behind the iRacing.com pace car. Lights are out on that iRacing.com pace car, as looks like Bennett Allen trying to clean a little bit of debris off of the 3 car. And just as we see the iRacing.com pace car get ready to dive down pit road, ladies and gentlemen, settle in, grab some popcorn, and call a friend, because we are about to be playoff racing in the Lone Star State. As Mike Wright enters the Geico restart zone, the green flag waves, and we are underway in Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series playoff action. Side by side go Mike Wright and R.P. Allen. R.P. getting ready to go to get the hammer and tongs out early on in this piece as he gets and he rubs the wall coming out of turn 4 into the quad oval. R.P. Allen all kinds of loose, and now that leaves his brother Bennett Allen sniffing at the rear bumper of Mike Wright in the number 98. Right now, R.P. Allen has dropped back to 4th position as he is still trying to recover from that loss of momentum just a moment ago. We'll pull up the ticker here so you can follow along, as we're going to see quite a lot going on tonight. Bob Nestor now moving up into P4 here at Texas Motor Speedway. He's sniffing the rear bumper of Brandon Minto. Minto in the 12 machine, up a spot from where he began, as Bob Nestor up 2 positions from where he began. Not willing to be put to bed early tonight, as I know Bob is out here to work his tail off. And you know what? I can't blame him one bit. We're looking a little further back here in the field as Zach Osborne and Ian Humphreys are side by side coming out of turn 4. And we see Osborne still looking to the inside now. And now he drifts to the outside, holding the high line over top of Eugenio Alonso in the number 86 Chevrolet Camaro. Eugenio, a different paint scheme tonight that we see here in this purple fuchsia aqua kind of color. Whoa, and he is really right behind Zach Osborne. That was a close one there, folks. As they roll out of turn 4, we're on lap number 5 now with one in the grass. That is Zach Osborne in the 16. Let's take a look and see what happened. Zach Osborne here in that black number 16 and right in the center of your screen as he's coming out of turn 4. He rubs the wall into the quad oval and just shoots down harmlessly into the grass, avoiding taking anybody else out, which is absolutely the gentlemanly thing to do. But unfortunately, that knocks him way back now to 24th position, leaving Mike Wright one less driver to contend with up here. As we look a little further back, we see the 39 of Michael Astuto side by side with the 38 of Doug Argabright. Argabright trying to get the run out of turn 4, as has been quite an interesting case all week long here at Texas Motor Speedway. That high line definitely seems to carry the momentum, and we may see what looks like the 32 now getting the run on Argabright, as it seems like the high line coming out of 4 and out of 2 is definitely where that momentum is going to be paying off tonight. Michael Astuto working alongside of Eugenio Alonso. Alonso now falls behind the 39 of Astuto. Astuto getting himself set up to try to draft behind the 32, pushed out of the way by Eugenio Alonso. Not necessarily physically pushed, but hey, listen, with just 8 laps in, you don't want to get too crazy too fast, as we are on lap number 8 of 200 here, working our way toward lap number 45 on the Independence Racing Network. I'm Dave Regal here in the broadcast booth. It's been quite a night so far here, as Mike Wright has led these laps consistently all evening long. Mike Wright, Bennett Allen, Brandon Minto, Bob Nestor, and R.P. Allen make up your top 5 here. Getting a little separated out there, as everybody has basically gotten single file. Closest battle on the racetrack right now, Doug Argabright working in on R.P. Allen here, as we see Argabright in the 38 machine, just barely holding his distance above the 32 of Ian Humphreys. So still nobody willing to be put to bed early tonight here further back in this pack. As we look, looks like even the 31 of Aaron Mack chasing down the 64 of Andrew Jones, not the baseball player, but the race car driver here in Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series action in that Mission 22, number 31 Toyota Supra, as the 31 gets out of the way respectfully, as Andrew Jones just looks like he has this car all kinds of hooked up tonight. as he moves up and through the field. Matthew Helm side by side now with Ethan Flanagan. Flanagan trying to hold his ground, but looks like Helm going to be making that pass any moment now, as Flanagan manages to get around him one more time. This is quite a battle we have here, folks, as you don't often see that kind of a move, but now Ethan Flanagan has gotten up here. It's almost like a dog who caught a car finally after chasing it. He didn't really know what to do with it. Now he gets to the high side and allows the 25 of Helm to get back around him. They basically just did the old Texas two-step here in the Lonestar State, looking just ahead of them. The battle between Chad Center and Joey Savajki getting hot and heavy now as they get ready to dance around Aaron Mack, a little do-see-do action, as Mack suddenly decides he wants to find that loud pedal and get moving again, as he had kind of started to drift back here in the lineup. Now up 2 positions from where he had started. Your biggest movers of the evening so far are John Crow Sr. up 7 spots from where he had begun in the number 95 machine. And, of course, Justin Prater and Eugenio Alonso also up 6 spots apiece. So plenty of movement going on. Not a whole lot of it. My goodness, it looks like the 03 is ready to take this thing 3 wide. And they are 3 wide as the 03, the 64, and the 39 are 3 wide. Astuto down on the bottom, the 64 of Andrew Jones. Wow! Just barely parallel parks between the 03 and the 39. Almost like he had thrown in there to give the 03 the room he needed to get a run away. Don't look now, though. Justin Prater, who's up 6 positions, is looking to make it 7 as they go into turn number 1. He drafts up right to the rear of Michael Astuto, looking for that momentum as Astuto is sucked up to the bumper of Andrew Jones as we go down the backstretch. Looks like they want to take it 3 wide again with the 17, the meat in this sandwich. They are playing with fire. This is going to be a problem if they keep this up tonight. Oh, and the 03 of R.P. Allen goes around. He comes down onto the apron, manages to keep it forward. Let's see exactly what might have happened here to R.P. Looks like RP coming down into turn 1 starts to get loose. The rear end starts to try to step out on this car, and almost like a dirt track driver, the rear end just backs out on him. However, like I said, he manages to keep it forward, and we stay green flag racing here at Texas Motor Speedway with 17 of 200 laps complete. Don't look now, but Tony Burt, whoa, as the 13 of Corey Burkett gets a little loose coming into turn 3 and 4. Tony Burt up 3 positions now from where he had begun. Corey Burkett trying to hold on for dear life as he has now lost a spot. John Crow Sr. up 9 positions, running in 14th position, now up 10 positions as he now runs in 14th position. So John Crow Sr. quietly making his way through the field, and don't look now, speaking of making his way quietly through the field, Eugenio Alonso up 8 spots from where he had begun, now running in 4th. So safely ensconced in that all-important top 5. And folks, if you are just joining us in the YouTube live chat, welcome in. Glad to have you with us. Looks like JC says, let's go Allen brothers. Then it says Carlos Ramos calling out for Doug Argabright. Danny D says, let's go Brandon Thin Meat Minto. And, oh, that's pretty good. I see what you did there, pal. And looks like Positive Pierre also calling out for Thin Meat. Doug in 5th, LFG. Let's see where Doug Argabright is here in the 38 machine. He is safely in 5th position right now with 21 laps complete. of 200. A tenth of the race complete so far this evening. Things starting to heat up now for Joey Savajki as he is now closing in on Justin Prater lap after lap here. Just 0.3 of a second separate these two drivers. And now it almost looks like Prater got tight and allowed Joey to get in here. Joey getting a heck of a run out of 4 as they come into the trial. He drafts up right to the rear of Justin Prater. Prater goes high, Savajki goes low, and I don't know if Joey's going to have the momentum as that high line coming onto the backstretch going to give the 17 of Prater a little bit of a run over top of Joey. We're going to see him pull away here, but once again, we're going to see Joey Savajki be able to close in here in turn 3 as we do see that gap narrowing ever so quickly, to be honest with you folks. And now it just seems like as they come into the quad oval, they go back to about 0.2 of a second. So we're going to keep it right here on these drivers. Just about the closest battle as Jeff Carson also looking to make some moves here tonight as he's working the rear of Ethan Flanagan. Carson up 6 spots, working on Flanagan to chase down John Crow Sr. And that Reynolds wrap number 9 Toyota Supra is all kinds of wound up. Carson last night in the Cup Series had a pretty good run as he finished 9th. That's his second top 10, at least between the series, in as many weeks as a couple of weeks ago in the Xfinity Series. He finally gets that third step on the podium, and Jeff tonight making some progress as he is now up into 14th spot. And after 25 laps here, we are going to step aside and pay some bills on the Independence Racing Network.
There's a new approach to lawn care, Preen One Lawn Care. Preen One does away with the hassle of multiple bags of different products. It has everything you need for a beautiful lawn in one bag. And all it takes is one application. For season-long weed control and feeding, apply the granules when the lawn is wet and weeds are actively growing. It blocks crabgrass all season. It prevents crabgrass seeds from growing. It kills the seedlings too, even when applied 4 weeks after they sprout. It's your best defense against tough weeds like dandelion, chickweed, henbit, and hundreds more. Plus, its slow-release formula feeds the lawn evenly for months to build stronger roots for maximum heat and drought resistance. Preen One delivers convenience and better performance in one package with one application. Spend more time enjoying your lawn and less time working on it. Preen One, and it's done. It's a lawn dream come true.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
I know belts and hoses not X and O's. I do O2 sensors and my defenses. Yeah, I make a right call to keep your car in the game. Don't even need a playbook, it's all in my brain. Fuel injectors, alternators, radiators too. It's who I am, it's what I do, Napa know-how.
We're going to have to cut that short as Anthony Paggio may have had some kind of a problem here. We're going to take a look on our instant replay. And we can see the 07 right here on the broadcast feed. Looks like he may have gotten tight coming off of 4. And it looks like he's just going to spin around as he's trying to save it. And unfortunately, Paz just gets himself into the wall and just barely shy of the start-finish line. Gets himself turned back around. Wow. That's a tough break here. So our first caution of the evening. Here on lap number 32. Of course, the caution coming out on 31. I think we're going to start to see a lot of these leaders come down pit road, as it looks like Bob Nestor down pit road along with R.P. Allen, Zach Osborne, Chad Sanner, Chris Claude, Ethan Flanagan, Lauren Jones, and Anthony Paggio, of course, as that car looks like it is smoking. John Bawalda here in the number 51 Chevrolet Camaro. New paint scheme here for the playoffs for John. Helping out our American heroes. Hooah! And glad to be a good friend of Mr. Bawalda, as we got to hang out a little bit earlier this year. In fact, we're going to quick pull him down and see if we can chat with him real fast.
I got to get into
John
the roundup.
John Bawalda, sorry to interrupt you there as you were in your Discord, but Dave Regal up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, brother? John Bawalda, Dave Regal up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy? I don't think we have him. Hey, John Bawalda, Dave Regal up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, brother?
What's going on, man?
Hey, man, listen, new paint scheme for the playoffs. Looking great tonight. How's that car feeling?
It's feeling pretty good. I mean, we got plenty of adjustments and everything to work on, but we got a strategy, trying to stick to it. Moved up quite a bit of spots with this caution here, and just hoping to pick up as many points as we can tonight.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, that number 51 helping out our American heroes Chevrolet Camaro as you come down the backstretch looks sharp. The car looks like it's handling pretty well. This caution kind of came out at a weird time on 33, so definitely going to be a little bit of a strategy changer. But those purple bumpers tell our fans at home that you are the man when it comes to the playoffs tonight.
Well, I hope so. We'll see. We just need a good finish. Got a couple other playoff drivers, Eugenio Alonso up there, and I think in second place. Hope that we wish we could have Tony in here. Things didn't play out for us the way we'd hoped in Daytona. That's all right. But it's a good time. And I'd also like to thank our latest sponsor, Wicked Sim Racing, for mental health. They do a lot. They've got some very interesting things planned next season. Hooking us up with some new high quality pedals to put in the race car, and so I look forward to telling you more about them soon.
All right, man. Well, listen, have a good rest of the run here in stage one, and maybe we'll see you on the other side, as you seem to be right in Commissioner's Corner here with Nestor and Claude. So good luck out there, brother.
All right, thank you. Have a good one.
That was Mr. John Bawalda, driver of the number 51 Hua Chevrolet Camaro. And I'll tell you what, John is one of those drivers that, every week he comes out here, he pours his heart and soul into this sport. And we always hope that he does well out on track. Right now, though, the iRacing.com pace car lights are out. Mike Wright, your race leader, just with Eugenio Alonso on his outside. Brandon Minto on the inside of row 2 with Bennett Allen on the outside of row 2. And it looks like Doug Argabright and Ian Humphreys on row 3. So looks like it's time to reach up there, strap back in, tighten those belts up, and get ready to go green flag racing here as the iRacing.com pace car drives over top of the tunnel here as they roll through turn 4 out of the 3-4 complex. He makes that hard left. Mike Wright goes ahead and hits that loud pedal one more time. Tighten him up. Here we go. Green flag racing. Minto and Alonso side by side with Bennett Allen here in the mix as they come out of turn 2 onto the backstretch. Quite a knot of cars as we go further back in line tonight. Looks like another 3-wide situation with the 64, the 39, and the 17 as the 39 of Michael Astuto. The meat in this sandwich, I can't imagine why you want to go 3 wide on lap number 36, as that does allow the 17 of Justin Prater to slide ahead of the 64 driven by Andrew Jones, and of course the 39 of Michael Astuto to suck right up to the rear bumper. He almost backs up a little bit, so maybe something happened. Whoa, as the 17 and the 64 both get loose in opposite directions at the same time. That's something you don't see very often anywhere. So definitely a chance looseness there as the 39 drifts up toward the 95 of John Crow Sr. Crow now up 15 positions, the biggest mover in the field tonight in the proper direction, 14 positions. Correction, as we just had almost another 3-wide situation, the 17 of Justin Prater getting ready to move back in front of Andrew Jones. Jones taking a little air off the 17, no contact made. At the speeds that these drivers are running, and we can take a look right here in the lower right corner of your screen, 181 miles an hour running into turn number 1 as they came through the quad oval. And we're going to follow along right here, watching Andrew Jones go down the backstretch, 171, 174. So definitely a faster entry into 1 and 2 than they get into 3 and 4. That may be why they're able to hold that lower line out of 3 and 4 a little tighter than that big sweeping arc that you need coming into turn 1. He's almost up to 190 miles an hour, 187 he tops out at as they dive into turn number 1. It's been quite a night so far as we pull up the battle box. As now Michael Astuto working the low side of Andrew T. Jones. Jones rubs the wall just a little and just enough to allow, the 95 to shoot through the middle as the door opened, and now Jones hemorrhaging spots has R.P. Allen on his left rear quarter panel. That's not where I would want to see R.P. Allen if I was out there tonight, and thank goodness I'm safely ensconced in the Independence Racing Network broadcast booth, as at that point, the 64 just had himself a Code Brown moment as R.P. Allen seizes on the opportunity. They go 3 wide with Michael Astuto, the meat in that sandwich, coming out of turn 4. Now the 46 of Ethan Flanagan falls into single file behind Astuto, as Astuto trying to regain that position that R.P. Allen just hijacked from him, as he works the outside now of John Crow Sr., now up 15 positions. The next closest drivers to the big movers of the night are Eugenio Alonso and Ethan Flanagan, as they're each up 10 positions. Eugenio just about at the point where you can't gain any more, as he's up 10 positions running in P2, just about 0.2 of a second behind Mike Wright, as it looks like Eugenio ready to set sail for that. But going back to where we were just focused on, the 03 of R.P. Allen now working the rear of his brother, Bennett Allen, as Bennett did not come down for pit service. So right now, those fresh tires that were back on lap 31 for RP Allen obviously paying off as he works. It almost just looks that easy as RP gets around Bennett and now puts Ian Humphreys in the crosshairs. He's a man on a mission tonight, is Allen. I mean, both Allen brothers, realistically, is we only have 3 races in this round of the playoffs. So RP needs every position he can get as he now works the high side of Humphreys with about 3 laps to go in stage number 1 as he is about to blow the doors off of Brandon Minto in the 12. Minto gets out of the way. That allows RP into P3 in the 03. But a lot of real estate between himself and Mike Wright as RP Allen up here with the freshest tires in the top, let's see, 4, 5. Freshest tires in the top 5, even as Ethan Flanagan in the 46 was also down on lap 31. He is not going to have enough as RP Allen has just blown the doors off of Brandon Minto, who's being chased by Ian Humphreys in the 32. Final lap of stage 1 here at Texas Motor Speedway. Mike Wright lets Eugenio Alonso get around him. Eugenio Alonso brings them down the backstretch into turn number 3. He's got it all wound up. Mike Wright following him takes the low side, tries to keep it moving, but Eugenio Alonso, with more than half a second distance between himself and Wright, crosses the start-finish line, and that will secure the stage win for him and, of course, the all-important bonus points here in the playoffs as the yellow flag waves, and we are under caution at the conclusion of stage number 1. Eugenio Alonso, Dave Regal up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, brother?
Hey, Dave. How are you, man?
Man, I'm good, but not as good as you taking the first stage win of this round of the playoffs, brother. I mean, listen, you had Mike Wright dead to rights coming out of turn 2, with 2 to go in the stage. I mean, what are you thinking, so far as it looks like, you know what? I'm going to give you a second so you can get through your pit stall.
Thanks.
Eugenio Alonso brings the field down, and we will see him in just a moment, or we will talk to him in just a moment as we don't want to confuse him here as he's coming in to get 4 tires and a tank of Go Fast. He was able to hold off RP Allen. Let's see who wins the race off of pit road now as everybody, with the exception of Chad Sanner and Aaron Mack, come in. And Chad Sanner, of course, trying to stay out, but Eugenio Alonso looks like he is going to win the battle off of pit road.
I'm here.
So let's see if we can hear from him now. Eugenio Alonso, looks like you beat everybody off of pit road, so you're going to be restarting in P1, brother.
Yes. I missed the setup in qualifying. I make the quali with right setup and start too far off the pole.
Yeah, I mean, listen, now that you've got those fresh tires, did you think about making any adjustments to the car before you went back out?
I put a little more type. Track is hot and it's in front. I can get more type.
Right. Absolutely, man. Well, listen, we're going to let you get settled back in here. And you get comfortable and strap back in as we get ready for stage 2, man.
Yeah, the setup is really good in long run. Uh, depend of Mike. This Mike ever is fast, and I will try to keep in front.
All right, man. Good luck.
Thanks, Dave.
As we get set here, let's take a run through the field. Eugenio Alonso, Mike Wright, Brandon Minto, Ethan Flanagan, John Crow Sr., Justin Prater, Ian Humphreys, Bennett Allen, Michael Astuto, and Doug Argabright round out the top 10 here as we get ready to go back green flag racing at Texas Motor Speedway in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series here on the Independence Racing Network. Dave Regal here in the broadcast booth with you. Glad to have everybody in with us tonight on YouTube.com. Make sure that if you haven't done so already this season, make sure that you give us a like, a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on those bell notifications. Share the heck out of this video. I mean, this is some of the best racing that you're going to see on the iRacing.com servers all year long. And, right now with those lights out on top of the pace car, that means that as we come out of the 3-4 complex here, we're going to see everybody get themselves all nice and strapped back in. The iRacing.com pace car makes its hard left turn right before those triple hash marks. Eugenio Alonso brings the field into the Geico restart zone, and all of a sudden the green flag waves and we are back racing at Texas Motor Speedway. Michael Astuto in the Cookout Ford Mustang here, working the low side of Matthew Hellman, the 25, the 02 of Joey Savajki, just behind the 25, and now gets around the 25 with a little bit of a run into turn one. They make sure to get here through the 1-2 complex and onto the backstretch. Mike Wright, Eugenio Alonso, Brandon Minto lead this piece right now. Bennett Allen looking to the left quarter panel of the 95, driven by John Crow Jr. Looks like Crow and Allen going to be exchanging blows here on lap number 54. Crow allows him by, but I'm sure that right now that Pug Mobile machine going to be cranked up behind him. as everybody getting strung back out into single file. Not a whole lot going on as far as side-by-side action. Right now, though, looks like Justin Prater holding off Matthew Helm, the 25 Chevrolet Camaros. They come into the quad oval. Looks like, once again, Prater gets himself a nice run through the quad oval and into turn one, but then that allows Matthew Helm to get just a little bit better of a run on him coming through turn two and onto the backstretch. It just seems like Prater is able to pull away from him. So this is going to be a game of cat and mouse almost all night long, as just less than 0.2 of a second separate those drivers, and immediately behind them, Michael Astuto and Joey Savajki are going at it pretty hot and heavy right now coming through the quad oval. This seems to be an area where everybody gets a good run or a bad run, and right now it looks like Astuto gets the run on him. So as long as he can keep hitting those marks, it looks like he's going to be making quite an impact. Meanwhile, Mike Wright has gotten around Eugenio Alonso. We're going to take a look back here if we can. And we can't. Go figure. There we go. And we see Mike Wright coming through the quad oval, working the low side. This is our replay of Mike Wright taking the lead away from Eugenio. And Eugenio very courteously gets out of the way, because at this stage in the race, it's really not worth it to, put everything on the line, especially with only 57, now 58 laps in here when they cross the start-finish line in the quad oval at Texas Motor Speedway. Dave Riegel here in the broadcast booth for the Independence Racing Network in our beautiful Conshohocken, Pennsylvania studio, and bringing you all of the exclusive Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series action right here on iRacing.com. Folks, right now we are going to step away and pay some bills here on the Independence Racing Network. Thank you for joining us as we are brought to you by Northeastern Fire and Air, RS Button Boxes, and of course, the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series brought to you by Butt Kicker. In 2007, Ray Riegel had a vision of serving his fellow firefighters' breathing air needs better. As a City of Reading firefighter since 1975, he knows the difficulties of finding the best and most affordable service company to care for and manage the most important means of survival firefighters have: breathing air. Northeastern Fire and Air is committed to providing our brothers and sisters with the best service in the industry and at an affordable cost. For more information, call 610-207-6608 for a consultation today, and know that you can breathe easy with Northeastern Fire and Air.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
There's a new approach to lawn care, Preen One Lawn Care. Preen One does away with the hassle of multiple bags of different products. It has everything you need for a beautiful lawn in one bag. And all it takes is one application. For season-long weed control and feeding, apply the granules when the lawn is wet and weeds are actively growing. It blocks crabgrass all season. It prevents crabgrass seeds from growing. It kills the seedlings too, even when applied 4 weeks after they sprout. It's your best defense against tough weeds like dandelion, chickweed, henbit, and hundreds more. Plus, its slow-release formula feeds the lawn evenly for months to build stronger roots for maximum heat and drought resistance. Preen One delivers convenience and better performance in one package with one application. Spend more time enjoying your lawn and less time working on it. Preen One, and it's done. It's a lawn dream come true.
Welcome back to Texas Motor Speedway. Dave Riegel here in the Independence Racing Network broadcast booth. Right now, Mike Wright in the number 98 Ford Performance Mustang leads this piece as Eugenio Alonso chases him down. Of course, Eugenio did win the first stage here tonight at Texas, but right now he is chasing Mike Wright down as if he owes him some lunch money. Here on lap number 64, we're working our way toward lap number 90 to see the conclusion of stage number 2, and then, of course, we'll have 110 laps to the end. So still a lot of racing to go here. We're going to run through this top 10 as Mike Wright leads the way. He's not only your race leader, but also your points leader here in the playoffs. Eugenio Alonso, your stage 1 winner, running in P2, the Buenos Aires native. One of our few international drivers tonight out here showing everybody who's boss as he leads this driver, Brandon Minto, by 2.38, now almost 2.4 seconds. He does Minto in the number 12 Ford Mustang. Bennett Allen just behind him in the Alabama Department of Mental Health Toyota Supra here in the 3 car. John Crow Sr. rounds out the top 5 in the number 95 Chevrolet Camaro, with Ethan Flanagan in his 46 machine, sponsored by Monster Energy, just behind. Ian Humphreys in the Adrenaline number 32 Toyota Supra is followed by his teammate Matthew Helm in the 25, with Doug Argabright and Justin Prater rounding out the top 10 here at Texas Motor Speedway. But right now, the story of the night is Mike Wright and Eugenio Alonso just exchanging blows. The torches and pitchforks haven't come out just yet. One of the closest races on the track right now is Ian Humphreys chasing down Ethan Flanagan, and they're still separated by 0.2 of a second. Looks like John Crow Sr. looking to work, or to be worked over by the 3 car of Bennett Allen. Bennett now on the left rear quarter panel of John Crow. And Bennett takes that white line as tight as you possibly can coming out of turn 4. They come back into the quad oval side by side as they come past the start-finish line. Crow still has the edge, but going into turn number 1, it looks like Bennett's going to dive in there, and as long as he can secure that momentum, he should be able to, there we go, slide right up in front of the 95. But don't worry, the 95 ready to do the old Texas two-step, do-si-do his way down the back stretch into turn number 3. Now he works the inside of the 3 car in turn number 3 as they come out of 4 back into the quad oval. They're still going at it hot and heavy. These drivers right now not willing to give up any real estate on the track whatsoever. On lap number 69 of 200, working our way toward lap number 90. Looks like things have cooled down for the time being, at least for Crow and Flanagan, but it looks like Humphreys here ready to make another move in the 32. Just as I say that, John Crow on the inside of Bennett Allen. This is quite a race here, folks. Almost the race within the race. And speaking of racing, over here on YouTube.com, make sure that you subscribe, turn on those bell notifications. It looks like Bennett just took a little bit of grass as he wanted to see if that preen lawn care was really all it is cracked up to be, and see if that grass is strong enough to take this Chevrolet Camaro all the way into turn number 1, as he now gets right back up in front of and is pushed by the 95. My gosh, this is some of the best racing that I've seen all week. They're swapping positions as if they're sitting here, as if this is the contact made coming through the quad oval. This isn't even the last lap of the race, and they're great tonight. My goodness, side by side go Crow and Allen yet again, as the 25 of Matthew Helm and the 46 of Ethan Flanagan are side by side. Flanagan getting out of the way, but it looks like right now Crow has the advantage over Bennett Allen. They still make almost a little bit more contact coming out of turn number 4, and just as they go under the starter, they're still going at it going into turn 1 and 2 as they make the exit. Oh, Bennett gets a little loose coming out of 2, but he manages to keep it moving steady. That little bobble coming out of 2 that Bennett just had cost him a little bit of real estate, but he sucked right up to the rear of Crow yet again. He gets all kinds of momentum coming through the quad oval. My God. The 3-car of Bennett Allen now working the low side of the 95 of John Crow. John Crow looking for any kind of momentum to try to put some kind of distance between himself and Allen. No such animal tonight in the Lonestar State here in Fort Worth, Texas at Texas Motor Speedway. As now it looks like Bennett decides to go single file, and that does put quite a gap between himself. Of course, I say quite a gap, and it's a quarter of a second. That quarter of a second just evaporated. They're now less than a tenth going down the backstretch. It looks like Bennett not ready to give up yet, as we have about 17 laps to the end of stage number 2. My goodness. Ethan Flanagan starting to lose ground quickly here. Still up 10 positions from where he had started, but Mike Wright and Eugenio Alonso have basically been driving around up here, just logging laps, hitting their marks. Not really a whole lot to talk about with these two, as right now it just seems as if they are just as content swapping positions from where they were at the end of stage number 1 here in stage 2. And as we look further back, Brandon Minto 4.72 seconds behind Eugenio. John Crow finally gets the edge that he needed over top of Bennett Allen in 5th place. Then P6 belongs to Matthew Helm right now, with Ian Humphreys getting ready to be overtaken by Doug Argabright in the number 38 machine. Argabright looking for an advantage coming through the quad oval, drafting behind the 32. The 32 of Ian Humphreys is definitely going to be his drafting partner coming into turn 1. That leaves the 17 of Prater out to dry on the outside. Prater not getting the run that he had hoped for coming out of turn 2. Cedes the position away to Doug Argabright, who is now in 8th. Justin Prater running in 9th. And Ethan Flanagan, who is hemorrhaged some spots as he was up pretty well earlier, has been sliding back as he is hanging on in the top 10, but still 10 spots better than where he had started tonight in 20th. Go ahead, folks, turn it up and listen to the amazing sounds of these machines at Texas Motor Speedway. Got to take a minute here as it looks like the 25 gets loose coming out of turn 2, recovers. But my goodness, that was a close call. We're going to run that back here real quick as the 25 of Matthew Helm just nearly bought the farm in this race car as he was side by side with the 3-car of Bennett Allen. Bennett Allen, of course, who had given so much trouble to John Crow, decided he wanted to try to give it more to Matthew Helm, as Helm had the audacity to try to get around the 3-car. And they don't make any contact, but the 3 holds his ground, and it just throws the 25 off of his rhythm, the Dayton, Ohio native. As they are now just barely 3 wide as the 17 gets loose. Prater holds it together. Here at Texas Motor Speedway, we are closing in on the conclusion of stage number 2. 86 laps complete tonight. As we are just about at lap number 90, we will have a breather then at the conclusion of stage 2. But right now, your race leader, Mike Wright, being chased down by Eugenio Alonso. That distance getting shorter and shorter as Alonso looks like maybe he's getting ready to make the move on Wright, who throws the block down in front of him, taking away the run that Eugenio just had on him as they get ready to go down the backstretch. Maybe Eugenio thinking that he could use the 16 of Zach Osborne as a pick here, as last week there were just 4 cars left on the lead lap when Mike Wright was done showing these guys who's boss and why he is the points leader here in Monday Night NASCAR's Xfinity Series. And just as I say that, looks like Mike is ready to put the 16 down a lap as we're on lap number 88 of 200 now. That allows Eugenio Alonso to maybe get a little bit of a push from the 16 coming down the backstretch, as nope, it looks like the 16 isn't willing to lose this position, as he will be the lucky dog once we go to the end of stage 2 if things finish where they are. Tony Burt right now in Mike Wright's crosshairs, and it looks like Wright going to be putting our good friend Tony down a lap as we're on lap 89 now. So Tony Burt going to be the lucky dog at this moment, as Mike Wright gets all the way around him. And now Tony Burt, of course, courteously gets out of the way of Eugenio Alonso. These two drivers, when they come back to the start-finish line, will be on the final lap of stage number 2 here. And Mike Wright crosses the start-finish line. We're going back to that green and white checkered flag as Eugenio Alonso trails him. Then 6.75 seconds further back is Brandon Minto. So Mike Wright and Eugenio Alonso, your story of the night, basically have just set the pace together and are now at this point leading Brandon Minto and of the rest of the field by nearly 7 seconds as they come out of turn 4 one more time here. They cross the start-finish line, and Mike Wright is your stage 2 winner. Mike Wright, Dave Regal up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, brother?
I do, Dave. How's it going?
Well, you know, another week, another race, and another green and white checkered flag for the 98 Ford Performance Mustang. I mean, obviously this car is feeling good to you tonight. Did you make any changes at the end of stage 1?
I did. I could tell Alonso's got some good pace, and we tested and expected a warmer track, so that's been a bit of a change, and we're still trying to catch up to that here. So changing a little more this time around. We'll see if we can get it a little more under control for the stage 3 here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, track temperature, a major factor here at Texas, as last night in the Cup Series, you know, we were practicing when it was in the low and mid 90s, and then all of a sudden it was in the low hundreds as the green flag dropped, and it basically hovered there for most of the night. But Mike, we're going to keep it quiet here because we don't want to throw off your rhythm in pit road.
Yeah, I expected low 100s, and we didn't get that. So I think that just brings some other people in with more grip, and it made us a little looser.
Yeah, and you know, you coming in here just as you barely beat Alonso off of pit road, you know, you guys are just setting the pace. You had nearly a 7-second gap between second and third position tonight. Oddly enough, an interesting strategy right now. Joey Savajki has stayed out. Not sure what's causing him to stay out there, but yeah, you and Eugenio had just suddenly become like the Pied Pipers of Fort Worth.
Yeah, he's definitely got good speed. I was hoping that getting out in front there for the run would maybe make him wear his tires a little bit more, just following behind me in the arrow, and it seemed like that was helpful. Whatever setup he's got in it, he's definitely driving a lot harder in the one, and somehow can still keep the right front on it for a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see if we run green the rest of the way, how that shakes out for a
Why
long
would you
run.
want to jinx that?
It's, you feel like it'll happen, and then it just goes every 10 laps, caution. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, fair point. For us here in the broadcast business, none of us even like to think of the color that we shall not speak of.
Yeah, I think you can, with the way we were shaking up there, I'm in question about what happens if we run the full stage there. Usually I'll have a pretty good idea of, what point in the run am I not as good or better, and we're still in question here. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, and everybody else is making changes. I know Brandon is one of those making changes, so we could get one of them pulled in here. You never know.
All right, man. Well, listen, good luck in stage 3. Maybe we'll see you in victory lane.
All right, have a good one.
And real quick, we want to try to see if we can find Bennett Allen. Hey, Bennett Allen, Dave Regal up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Look at you up here in the top 5. I mean, listen, you were back here doing all kinds of battle for like most of stage 2. You've got to be exhausted by now. What are you thinking coming into stage 3, you Chattanooga choo-choo guy?
Right now I'm really frustrated. The way us playoff guys are getting raced by non-playoff guys, and a lot of the guys I'm around right now are sort of new to the league, and it's frustrating that I'm getting beaten, banged up when I'm just trying to save my stuff for the end. And that's really my only frustration right now. The car feels pretty good. We've been working on it all night. We worked on it all day yesterday and all day today. There's just a couple things I need to kind of work out in terms of kinks of the setup. But so far, this JCTV and Alabama Mental Health Association Toyota Super is really fast. With huge thanks to TWRS and Money House Racing. All these guys work really hard all week, even though sometimes I can't work hard, and they're really big help. And it's just, we have a little frustrations right now. We're going to work through the kinks and hopefully get a good finish. I don't think we have a race-winning car. I'm hoping for at least, a top 5 or something, just to have a good points day.
All right, man. Well, listen, the iRacing.com pace car lights are out, so we will let you go. You go ahead and get ready for stage 3, and maybe we'll see you there in victory lane if you've got enough mojo there at the end.
I hope I do. Thank you, Dave.
That was Mr. Bennett Allen, driver of the number 3 machine. And I got to be honest with you, folks, he is one of these drivers that we see week in and week out that just, gets it done. And, one of the hardest things that we see, as I want to make sure, oh, and I didn't get him back to the right place. Hold on. There he goes. He got dragged back down himself. So, Bennett, if you hear me, I do apologize for getting you into the wrong place. Just a slip of the wrist there. As Mike Wright brings the field around, they've gotten real nice and tight down here on the low side. He enters the Geico restart zone. The green flag waves, and we are back racing at Texas Motor Speedway. We're going to see if we can pull in Mr. Josh Ward from Money House Racing. Josh Ward, Dave Regal up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, brother?
Yes, sir, I do.
Hey, man, listen, heard you weren't feeling so great last night. How you feeling tonight?
Oh, I ain't hardly much better. I've been down in the bed with COVID since Friday. I'm still not in much of shape to race, but I know what I can do crew chief. I did what I could last night racing as much as I could, but it took it all out of me in order to be able to get out there and do it. So I'm just crew chief at the top.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with just chiefing up, and we are under caution. There's nothing wrong with just chiefing. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, folks, we're going to step aside here and take a look and see what happened to Lauren Jones. At the end of the day, you're watching a sim. You can't put your body out there when it's a sim. You know what I mean?
Hey, I mean, just sitting down for the hour and 30 minutes that you're doing this, where you're pretty much giving your concentration all of it, and sometimes you can get pretty daggone hot. It's not the most comfortable thing. It's definitely not as hard as they have it in real life, but it's not something that you can get basically. It's like getting on an exercise bike and doing a steady rhythm for a good little bit. It's not like intensive, but after a little while, you.
No.
Took a step back and did my crew chief job out here.
Buddy, listen, I totally get it. And folks, just so you guys know, I mean, there are some people that sit in racing rigs. There are others that are sitting in, an office chair. It's not the most comfortable thing in the world. Josh, a couple of months ago during the Charlotte week for the Coke 600, I did the Coke 600 in my rig. And by the end of the day, or by the end of that race, I was dripping in sweat. My butt was numb. It was horrific. I couldn't imagine doing it in real life, and I couldn't imagine doing it with COVID like you do. So listen, man, get well soon and get back on up there to your pit box.
I appreciate it.
All right, brother, man. That is Josh Ward, normally the driver, the number 1 Chevrolet, playing the, basically the crew chief. Where the heck do you belong here? Josh, I can't find your Discord. Oh, never mind. He went back. That's why I couldn't find it. But, usually out here on track, and when it comes to basically the mad scientist, he is one of these guys that can get that car just, dialed in just perfect.
I know belts and hoses, not X and O's. I do O2 sensors, but not defenses. Yeah, I make a right call to keep your car in the game. Don't even need a playbook, it's all in my brain. Fuel injectors, alternators, radiators too. It's who I am, it's what I do. Never know how. Never know how.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
In 2007, Ray Regal had a vision of serving his fellow firefighters' breathing air needs better. As a City of Reading firefighter since 1975, he knows the difficulties of finding the best and most affordable service company to care for and manage the most important means of survival firefighters have: breathing air. Northeastern Fire and Air is committed to providing our brothers and sisters with the best service in the industry and at an affordable cost. For more information, call 610-207-6608 for a consultation today, and know that you can breathe easy with Northeastern Fire and Air. Welcome back to Texas Motor Speedway. A lot going on here on a Monday night as we are watching Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series action exclusively here on the Independence Racing Network. Dave Regal up in the broadcast booth in our beautiful Conshohocken, Pennsylvania studios. Elsewhere on a Monday night, of course, the Dallas Cowboys are in the Meadowlands facing off against those terrible Big Blue New York Giants. Right now, the Cowboys trailing the Giants 13-6 with 3 minutes even left in the third quarter. Looks like wow, my goodness. One heck of a play there as the Cowboys have just moved pretty far downfield, puts them right into the red zone now as they still do trail the Giants 13-6. Elsewhere in sports, baseball getting ready to go into their playoffs as we're, of course, here in our playoffs in the Xfinity Series. The Braves blank the Nationals today 8-0. The Reds lose to the Pirates 8-3, so 8 kind of a common number. And right now at the bottom of the fourth inning, the Orioles are trailing the Red Sox 6-5. And in the top of the 10th, the Yankees and the Blue Jays are tied at 2 with 1 on, 1 out, and a 3-1 count to Falletta. And as we see that, we go back green flag racing here at Texas Motor Speedway. Quite a gaggle of cars here as the 17 works the middle now, as they are 3 wide, nearly 4 wide going down the backstretch. My gosh, this is dangerous. As the 95 of John Crow trying to get himself some kind of traction. Meanwhile, looks like Ethan Flanagan works just ahead of him. And now as this gaggle of cars has gotten themselves a little bit more organized, Bob Nestor decides he wants to start sniffing around at the rear of R.P. Allen. Then it's a little bit of a distance, just about 0.6 of a second back to Joey Savachki, as Joey is about to be worked on by Matthew Helm in the 25, John Bewald in the 51 here on the high side, holding off Michael Estudo in the Cookout Ford Mustang. And right now it looks like the 25 of Matthew Helm working the low side of the 02 Joey Savachki Toyota Supra, and now secures away 11th position. And he puts Nestor in the crosshairs, but I don't know if he's going to catch Nestor anytime soon, as, at this point, I'm fairly certain it seems like Bob Nestor is saving at least for another few laps, as we are on lap number 104 of 100 at Texas Motor Speedway. Going to take a look here at Lauren Jones once we come back onto the screen. Lauren Jones in that Cheetos number 11 Toyota Supra, working just behind the 32 of Ian Humphreys and just ahead. Just gets into the 13, almost like he came down into the 13 unintentionally. And we're going to see if we can get a better shot here. You can see him just come down, bump the 13, and he couldn't hold his act together. He slides very closely to the front of the 16. So Zach Osborne obviously in a clear Code Brown situation, getting around Lauren Jones as we stay green here at Texas Motor Speedway. Taking a look at our times right now, the best lap tonight by Mike Wright, your race leader, 29.90 seconds. Your Xfinity Series track record for qualifying was 27.908 seconds back in 2002. That was by Jeff Green and his Chevrolet in 2002. That would have been the Monte Carlo year, but with an average speed of 193.493 miles per hour. As now it looks like Lauren Jones was not able to get back around, jumps himself to the pits as we still stay green here on lap 109 of 200. You're watching the Independence Racing Network, and folks, I invite you to turn it up and listen to the sounds of Monday Night NASCAR. we have to take a quick step away from this Turn It Up segment to take a look at Jeff Carson. Carson seems to have had himself some kind of an issue. As we'll take a look, Carson in that Reynolds wrap number 9 Toyota Supra gets on the low side of the 01 of Matt Mackin as he's drafting just up behind him. And he doesn't make contact with the 01, but he just checks up enough for the 32 to catch his rear. We'll see that again. Bear with us, folks, as we're trying to get that replay up and on your screen. And here it is. Definitely not intentional, as as I had just mentioned, Carson was trying to get around the 01, and it just did not end well for him. That definitely puts Carson at a disadvantage now, as we're on lap number 115 of 200. So these laps melting away here in the Texas heat, as Mike Wright, your race winner, or your race leader, I'm sorry, maybe that's accidental foreshadowing there, as Mike Wright's still being chased down by Eugenio Alonso. All of a sudden, this battle for the lead starting to heat up here on lap number 116, as Mike Wright won stage 2, Eugenio Alonso won the first stage, and now it seems like it's anybody's race now between these two, as they lead Brandon Minto by almost 2 seconds, as Bennett Allen follows Minto, Doug Argabright in 5th, John Crow in 6th, Ethan Flanagan in 7th, Matthew Hellman in 8th, Bob Nestor in 9th, and Justin Prater in 10th. Sometimes it seems like no matter where a certain driver goes that they just can't get away from trouble. John Crow, I feel like every time we go to him tonight, he is being challenged by another driver. John Crow up 18 positions from where he had started tonight, currently running in 6th position, chased down by Ethan Flanagan, up 13 from where he is, or from where he had begun. And John Bawalda, Matt Mackin, and Eugenio Alonso all up 10 spots from where they had started this race, currently running in 2nd, 15th, and 16th. So obviously, Eugenio Alonso had a lot less distance to try to cover to get to the front compared to Bawalda and Mackin. But right now, looks like Mike Wright going to be your race leader for quite a while. Looking here in the YouTube.com live chat, Matt White giving a compliment to our stream quality. Matt, listen, last night there were some technical issues. And speaking of technical issues, looks like Eugenio Alonso, no technical issues for him as he is going for the lead. He is side by side with Mike Wright as they go down the backstretch. These two drivers all of a sudden decided to heat it up. Maybe they were getting bored just running nose to tail. And all of a sudden, Eugenio Alonso backs out. In 2007, Ray Regal had a vision of serving his fellow firefighters' breathing air needs better. As a City of Reading firefighter since 1975, he knows the difficulties of finding the best and most affordable service company to care for and manage the most important means of survival firefighters have: breathing air. Northeastern Fire and Air is committed to providing our brothers and sisters with the best service in the industry and at an affordable cost. For more information, call 610-207-6608 for a consultation today, and know that you can breathe easy with Northeastern Fire and Air.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
I know belts and hoses, not X and O's. I do O2 sensors and my defenses. Yeah, I make a right call to keep your car in the game. Don't even need a playbook, it's all in my brain. Fuel injectors, alternators, radiators too. It's who I am, it's what I do. Never know how. Never know how.
Welcome back to Texas Motor Speedway, where Mike Wright has decided he wants to be the Pied Piper of Fort Worth, but Eugenio Alonso is in hot pursuit of him here on lap number 129 of 200 in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series race here at Texas Motor Speedway. Brandon Minto running in third position right now. He's got a 1.02 second lead over Doug Argabright in the 38 machine. John Crow in fifth, Matthew Hellman sixth, Bennett Allen in seventh, Commissioner Bob Nestor in eighth, Ethan Flanagan in ninth, and Andrew T. Jones in the 64 machine rounds out your top 10. A busy night, of course, as always. A busy night, as always, here on a Monday night. As, of course, Monday Night Football going on over on ESPN, and, of course, the Manning Cast on ESPN2. The Dallas Cowboys and New York Giants are all tied up in the Meadowlands as the Cowboys have possession, and it looks like they've got a long way to go as they're on their own 15. And right now, Cooper Rush, 145 yards, just behind Daniel Jones, 157 yards. Tony Pollard has 76 yards tonight, and Saquon Barkley has 79 with a touchdown. So a lot going on in that football game. Of course, as we had mentioned earlier, a couple of baseball games going on tonight with playoff implications. And speaking of the playoffs, we can take a look again here at our playoff picture as give us one moment here. As Mike Wright, your race leader, is also your points leader right now. Bobby Blazer not out on track, but running in P2. Bennett Allen in third on the night. Here in the 3 car, running in 8th position, side by side with Commissioner Bob Nestor. in the number 29 Relative Properties Toyota Supra. They are side by side. The Supras are coming out of turn 4 into the quad oval. It looks like Bennett going to get the run on Nestor. Nestor, meanwhile, not ready to go to bed early tonight, as it may be getting late on the East Coast here, but not late enough for Nestor not to at least put up a fight, as he's not going to be just shoved out of the way, as Commissioner Nestor here has been looking for that elusive first win of the season. Mike Wright and Eugenio Alonso have opened up nearly a 7-second lead, as they are 6.8, now 6.9 seconds. There's the 7-second mark over Doug Argabright. Argabright, of course, just getting around Brandon Minto in the 12 machine. Now Argabright trying to set sail, as now Eugenio Alonso was an even 7 seconds ahead of Argabright. So he and Mike Wright have decided that they are just going to show everybody how to log their laps here at Texas Motor Speedway, as it looks like Mike Wright putting on a clinic. Of course, not as many cars down laps as usual for Mike Wright, as usually he can lap the field at least once. And I believe it was last week or the week before, there were just 4 cars left on the lead lap, as Mike Wright had shown them exactly why he sits atop the point standings. Moving on down through the point standings, as a matter of fact, your second place driver, Eugenio Alonso, is 4th in the standings right now, with Aaron Mack and Brandon Minto each tied for 5th, with R.P. Allen in 7th, Robert Nestor in 8th, John Bawalda in 9th, and Chris Claude in 10th position. So in order for some of these drivers, especially further down on the list, to advance along, they're going to need to pick up a win. But unfortunately, Chris Claude damaged as all get out tonight. In fact, let's go on down here and see if we can get a good shot of him. Doesn't look like a whole lot of damage on the number 10 Dasani Toyota Supra, but nonetheless, it looks like that's definitely affected him. Meanwhile, Mike Wright is up atop the pile, has now opened himself a 1.2 second lead over Alonso. So I guess with 60 to go here, Wright has decided he's done playing games with these people, and he wants to bring home the checkered flag. Watching the 32 and the 51 going at it here. Looks like John Bawalda III, your Tuesday Night NASCAR Truck Series commissioner, trying to chase down the 32 of Ian Humphries. And Humphries just has the edge. Andrew T. Jones looking here behind Bennett Allen. Maybe they're going to start to go at it as we have just about 55 laps to go here. So not a whole lot of time left as green flag pit stops have begun. Corey Burkett down pit road, Chad Sander down pit road, as well as Lauren Jones and Anthony Paggio have been down there for quite a while. And finally, it looks like Jones gets around Bennett Allen as Bennett Allen in that Alabama Mental Health Toyota Supra, the JCTV machine, currently holding on to 8th position, but Bob Nestor lurking behind him, waiting for him to make a mistake here. Nestor going to start to draft up to the rear of Bennett Allen, it appears, as they get ready to come out of turn 2 onto the backstretch. Nestor works easily alongside Andrew Jones and gets away from him in 8th position. And now it almost seems like he's dragging Jones along with him, as now the 95 of John Crow goes down pit road for his service. The 29 of Nestor starting to draft up, to the rear of the 3 car. Got one heck of a run as he obviously had a ton of momentum, and almost like the 3 car just put a giant parachute up around himself, slowed down in front of the 29 Relative Properties Toyota Supra. Of course, you can see both of these cars with those purple bumpers and that rear spoiler. Those colors right there mean that they are in the Xfinity Series playoffs. Of course, purple, part of that Xfinity logo. And now Nestor gets low and creeping along here on the bottom around Bennett Allen. That should put enough distance between him that now he can focus on Brandon Minto, who's 3 seconds ahead of him. So it could be a moment, but I think we're going to start to see Nestor start to close in on him. Bennett Allen getting ready to come down pit road now as he is going to be staying low. They come down the back stretch, making sure that he is calling out nice and loud here. Bennett Allen coming down with the 64. That allows Nestor to stay out as he last came down on lap number 92. So it's definitely been a while, and Nestor's got to be ready for fuel, but it looks like he is waiting for Mike Wright and the rest of the leaders to come down pit road. So right now, the last thing Nestor wants to see is that that ugly color that none of us like to see. Mike Wright, Doug Argerbright, and Matthew Helm all down pit road. Brandon Minto getting ready to roll out. Michael Astuto getting his pit service with Andrew Jones and Bennett Allen also on their way out of pit road. That has Ian Humphries and Joey Savajki. They're back in 15th position now, getting their pit service. Those 3 drivers come out, and Eugenio Alonso, your effective race leader, is down pit road. That has Bob Nestor up here in the lead. Of course, he's got to be coming down pit road soon. But at this very moment, the commissioner is also the leader here on track. He's not coming down this time as I expected him to. He and teammate Jeff Carson in the number 9 Reynolds Wrap Toyota Supra. Both those Toyotas going to be staying out at least for another lap now, as Carson last came down on 98, Nestor on 92, and Tony Burt, our good friend, in the 4 car, last coming down on lap 93. They're the only 3 drivers who have not come down pit road yet. And as Nestor brings it through turn 3 again, waiting to see when he's going to be calling it out to come on down. To be brutally honest, folks, I mean, Nestor has a 22-second lead over Mike Wright, your Stage 2 winner. So it's entirely possible that Nestor is going to stay out here just until that gap gets a little bit scarier, as he doesn't want to go down. And I'm guessing, I'll tell you what, I would bet dollars to donuts we're going to see Nestor come down right now, as it's been just long enough, and now he's got about 46 laps to the end. And there he goes, 3, 2, 1, and he is on pit road, getting down to speed. Hopefully he doesn't make a mistake here on pit road, as he's going to get ready to get that service here on the number 29 Relative Properties Toyota Supra. Meanwhile, that's going to put Jeff Carson in the effective race lead, as he's only got about a 3-second lead over Mike Wright, but he might as well get credit for leading the lap here at Texas Motor Speedway. And it looks like he's going to stay out yet again. So I don't know what Jeff Carson has planned here, as he's got a few more laps to go compared to, teammate Bob Nestor. But at this very moment, looks like it's going to be Carson, Wright, Alonso, Prater, and Crow, your top 5. And I believe that we're going to see the 9 come in this time, as he comes into turns 3 and 4, gets down onto the white line, and 3, 2, 1, and Jeff Carson is down pit road, so we should have Mike Wright and Eugenio Alonso cycle back to the front. And the Cross Junction Virginia native pulls off a pit road. That will complete this cycle of pit stops, and that should be the money stop for most of these drivers.
There's a new approach to lawn care, Preen One Lawn Care. Preen One does away with the hassle of multiple bags of different products. It has everything you need for a beautiful lawn in one bag. And all it takes is one application. For season-long weed control and feeding, apply the granules when the lawn is wet and weeds are actively growing. It blocks crabgrass all season. It prevents crabgrass seeds from growing. It kills the seedlings too, even when applied 4 weeks after they sprout. It's your best defense against tough weeds like dandelion, chickweed, henbit, and hundreds more. Plus, its slow-release formula feeds the lawn evenly for months to build stronger roots for maximum heat and drought resistance. Preen 1 delivers convenience and better performance in one package with one application. Spend more time enjoying your lawn and less time working on it. Preen 1, and it's done. It's a lawn dream come true.
I know belts and hoses, not X and O's. I do O2 sensors, but not defenses. Yeah, I make a right call to keep your car in the game. Don't even need a playbook, it's all in my brain. Fuel injectors, alternators, radiators too. It's who I am, it's what I do. Never know how. Never know
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
In 2007, Ray Regal had a vision of serving his fellow firefighters' breathing air needs better. As a City of Reading firefighter since 1975, he knows the difficulties of finding the best and most affordable service company to care for and manage the most important means of survival firefighters have, breathing air. Northeastern Fire and Air is committed to providing our brothers and sisters with the best service in the industry and at an affordable cost. For more information, call 610-207-6608 for a consultation today and know that you can breathe easy with Northeastern Fire and Air. Welcome back to Texas Motor Speedway. Mike Wright, your race winner here in the Monday Night Xfinity Series as Mike Wright, your race leader, correction. That's a second slip of the tongue there for that one. He leads Eugenio Alonso by 8/100th of a second. And now Eugenio Alonso looks like we came back just in time as he's looking to the inside of Mike Wright on these fresh tires. Maybe he's thinking he can afford to burn a little bit of this tread off now. As he works to the inside of Wright, he slides up just a little, but not enough to make Wright back out of the throttle. The 86 now getting ready to hold down the low line. He slides in front once again of Mike Wright here. And looks like Eugenio has effectively hijacked the lead away from Mike Wright, at least for the time being. Meanwhile, Doug Argabright in third, Brandon Minto in fourth, Matthew Helm in fifth, Bennett Allen in sixth, John Crow in seventh, Andrew Jones in eighth, Justin Prater in ninth, and Bob Nestor back here in 10th position. Brandon Minto allowing the 25 of Matthew Helm to work around him. As we're getting to that stage in the race, we're going to start to see guys jostling around again with 30 laps to go, so about 15 to 20 minutes, assuming that we don't see that color that no broadcaster wants to see, especially in a long race like this. Ian Humphreys now working the low side of RP Allen in the 03 Prime Toyota Supra. And it looks like Humphreys is going to hold his ground for the time being, but my goodness, I think the 03 just threw his afterburners on and rolled right around the 32. Little scoring change over on Monday Night Football. The Dallas Cowboys now lead the New York Giants 23-13 here in the fourth quarter with about 5 minutes 58 seconds left. So the 1-1 Cowboys lead the 2-0 Giants 23-13. I'd be willing to bet that both of these teams are going to walk out of here 2-1 tonight, as the Cowboys at 1-1 and the Giants at 2-0 both could wind up being 2-1 tonight at the final whistle. Ian Humphrey still trying to get around the 0-3 of RP Allen. RP goes to the high side here through the quad oval. Now it looks like Ian's going to work the low side. Ian starts to take that entry into one a little more shallow, as it almost looks like RP got tight going into turn one. As they roll through turn two, though, Ian Humphrey's finally the victor of that battle for 13th position. Right now, your biggest mover of the night is John Crow Sr., who is up 17 positions here in his number 95 Chevrolet Camaro. Bennett Allen in 6th position, Brandon Minto in 5th, Doug Helm in 4th, Doug Argerbright in 3rd, Mike Wright in 2nd, and Eugenio Alonso in 4th position. Minto and Helm getting ready to go out at hammer and tongs here. The torches and pitchforks are lit and waiting for the first driver to grab one and go after one of his opponents, as now it looks like Brandon Minto has backed off and allowed Helm the breathing room that he was hoping for here. A lot of history locked up here at Texas Motor Speedway in the Cup Series. All right. Jimmy Johnson has 7 wins here over his career. He also has the most top 5s and the most top 10s. Then Kevin Harvick and Kurt Busch each have 36 starts here. 7 drivers have 2 poles apiece, while Kurt Busch has completed 11,852 laps. However, the most laps led go to Jimmy Johnson with 1,152. Steve Park has the best average start at 8th position, while Kevin Harvick has an average finish of 10.4. Furthermore, the longest rain delay was 72 hours that resulted in Clint Boyer winning the 24-hour at Daytona event. 13 laps to go here at Texas Motor Speedway. Everything nice and leveled out here as 8 cars remain on the lead lap. Eugenio Alonso, your race leader, works around Mike Wright, who he has now opened a 2.68 second lead over top of Doug Argabright in the 38 Toyota Supra. Is followed by Brandon Minto and Matthew Helm to round out the top 5. And it looks like the 38 just kind of got loose. We're going to run back and take a look. And we see the 38 here coming down toward the backstretch out of turn number 2. Just gets loose, comes down toward the apron, but saves it and gets himself into 3. Eugenio Alonso now opening a 3-second lead over Mike Wright. Brandon Minto and we are under caution. Something has happened with Bob Nestor. We'll take a look. And we see Nestor here in the 29. Ooh. We'll take a look at that again as Nestor just coming out of 2 onto the backstretch. It did not get along very well for him. And we see from here the rear end just steps out on him. He has nothing to do except to hold on and wait for that inner wall to devour the number 29 Relative Properties Toyota Supra. Well, that's definitely going to change a few things with 9 laps to go here. Eugenio Alonso, Mike Wright, and Doug Argabright all down pit road. As Eugenio is going to need a quick... Looks like he's not getting tires. Maybe he's just getting a splash of fuel? He did take tires. And Eugenio Alonso and Mike Wright will lead the field off of pit road. Brandon Minto trying to get started, slides the tires, and that allows the 38 of Doug Argabright to get through. Quite a race getting off of pit road. As I believe this caution was, I'm not saying on purpose, but this caution was definitely not needed by anybody, whether it was accidental or manual. As Eugenio had just opened up a 3-second lead over Wright, and now things are a lot different. In 2007, Ray Regal had a vision of serving his fellow firefighters' breathing air needs better. As a City of Reading firefighter since 1975, he knows the difficulties of finding the best and most affordable service company to care for and manage the most important means of survival firefighters have, breathing air. Northeastern Fire and Air is committed to providing our brothers and sisters with the best service in the industry and at an affordable cost. For more information, call 610-207-6608 for a consultation today and know that you can breathe easy with Northeastern Fire and Air.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
I know belts and hoses, not X and O's. I do O2 sensors, but not defenses. Yeah, I make a right call to keep your car in the game. Don't even need a playbook, it's all in my brain. Fuel injectors, alternators, radiators too. It's who I am, it's what I do. Never know how. Never know how.
There's a new approach to lawn care, Preen One Lawn Care. Preen One does away with the hassle of multiple bags of different products. It has everything you need for a beautiful lawn in one bag. And all it takes is one application. For season-long weed control and feeding, apply the granules when the lawn is wet and weeds are actively growing. It blocks crabgrass all season. It prevents crabgrass seeds from growing. It kills the seedlings too, even when applied 4 weeks after they sprout. It's your best defense against tough weeds like dandelion, chickweed, henbit, and hundreds more. Plus, its slow-release formula feeds the lawn evenly for months to build stronger roots for maximum heat and drought resistance. Preen One delivers convenience and better performance in one package with one application. Spend more time enjoying your lawn and less time working on it. Preen One, and it's done. It's a lawn dream come true.
Six laps to go now here at Texas Motor Speedway. The iRacing.com pace car lights are out. That means we'll be going back to green and hopefully racing back for that checkered flag, as this caution brought out by Bob Nestor self-spinning there, and definitely not something that he wanted to do, as he is in that playoff hunt. So he's going to have to crank it up for Talladega next week. But right now the focus is going to be on Eugenio Alonso, as he has his finger on the button. He's got his foot hovering just above the throttle. He hits the Geico restart zone and takes off like a bat and gets one heck of a jump over Mike Wright. Still a car wrecking down the grass on the front stretch. However, we stay green right now. This is a good scenario here, as we are now 5 to go. Eugenio Alonso being chased down by Mike Wright side by side coming out of turn 4. These two drivers crossing the start-finish line yet again. Alonso, and we're under caution. Taking a look here at Tony Burt coming down the backstretch, as iRacing Timing and Scoring did have him marked as having crashed, as he does just bring the rear around. He catches the 39 and then just goes, beaten and banged around right here before the entrance to pit road. And Tony actually manages to go back out on track, because I guess he thought that he could hold this all together. That'll bring out the green-white checker. We're going to see what happens here. And coming down to the wire, speaking of which, looks like the Dallas Cowboys still leading the New York Giants 23-16 with 1 minute 52 seconds left here in the game, as it looks like they're about to punt it to the Giants with, my goodness, the Giants have no timeouts. The Cowboys have all 3 of theirs. So Danny Dimes there from New York going to have his work cut out for him, as he may have been outshined tonight finally by Cooper Rush. At least Cooper Rush can outshine somebody. But here are the rules for the green-white checker. Of course, once we come back around and take the green flag, if there's a wreck or something that brings out the caution on that green flag lap, we will stop, restart, rack them and stack them, and do it all over again. However, if they make it around on that green flag lap once we come back and they make it all the way to the white flag, then we'll be racing back to the checkers. So we've got a couple of opportunities to try this tonight. NASCAR overtime rules are in effect, so we have officially 3 laps remaining once the green flag drops. The iRacing.com pace car dives down pit road one more time. Eugenio Alonso gets into the Geico restart zone, takes off, and we are back green flag racing. We are headed back to the white flag as he crosses the start-finish line and gets a jump over top of Mike Wright, 3/10 of a second. It looks like Minto, and we are back under caution again. Not exactly sure what brought this caution out. Could not find anything. So, unfortunately, folks, not able to tell you what's going on. So it looks like we're going to rack them, stack them, and do it all over again.
Rickmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, rickmotech.com.
Live extreme scoring.
Rickmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. Whether you're just looking to have fun, train for race day, or become a serious esports competitor, Rickmotech has you covered. Hundreds of name brand parts. Support from experts that love sim racing. Trusted by the pros. There's only one place to go, rickmotech.com. Rickmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. Whether you're just looking to have fun, train for race day, or become a serious esports competitor, Rickmotech has you covered. Hundreds of name brand parts. Support from experts that love sim racing. Trusted by the pros. There's only one place to go, rickmotech.com.
Things have definitely changed here as it looks like Eugenio Alonso was given an end-of-the-line penalty here after the last green-white checker attempt. That puts Brandon Minto up in P1. In P1 here on the inside. He hits the Geico restart zone, gets the green flag, and we are back racing. This is the third attempt now on the green-white checker, so we are going back to the white flag yet again. As we are 2 to go, looks like Bennett Allen and Mike Wright going to be side by side coming into 1 and 2 one more time here. And Mike Wright looking, and they're wrecking on the backstretch. Half the field is turning into a flaming disaster. Apologies all around on race radio, as it appears that there is pandemonium in the ring. You can see here for yourself, folks, exactly what might have gone on here. It looks like Ethan gets down into RP, who gets into the 9, who gets into the 29, and from there it's like a 4-year-old with a set of Matchbox cars just slamming them around the living room on the carpet. And once we come back from commercial one more time, I believe we will see the final green-white checkered attempt.
Rick Motec, high-performance sim racing equipment. Whether you're just looking to have fun, train for race day, or become a serious esports competitor, Rick Motec has you covered. Hundreds of name brand parts. Support from experts that love sim racing. Trusted by the pros. There's only one place to go, rickmotec.com.
And if I understand correctly, we should be seeing the checkered flag wave, with Brandon Minto going to be your race leader, Mike Wright going to finish in second, and Bennett Allen in third right now. So as it stands right now, I believe once the pace car brings them back around, we should see the checkered flag wave, and we'll find out in just one moment here. And we will see the final green-white checker attempt here.
Allow Extreme Scoring to do the work for you.
And one final time, we see the iRacing.com pace car lights out. So we are going to rack them and stack them double file this time. One final time, no questions asked this time. So if something bad happens here, that will end the race effectively, as the iRacing.com pace car lights are out. Brandon Minto on the inside of row one with Mike Wright, your points leader, on the outside. Minto, a non-playoff driver as far as I'm aware. He's going to be followed by Bennett. Minto is going to be followed by Bennett Allen on the inside, with Doug Argabright on the outside of row number 2. So things definitely shifting around here after Eugenio Alonso had first been given the EOL and then must have gotten wrapped up in that last wreck. So that can't be good, as the iRacing.com pace car brings the cars back into the 3-4 complex. Pace car driver going to be diving down pit road literally one last time. And let's see if we can get a good clean start this time, as Brandon Minto gets to bring the field back into the Geico restart zone. He takes off, and the green flag waves. We are back underway finally here, as this is the last green-white checkered attempt here. The flag waves. Minto gets a good run moving here, as it looks like Mike Wright going to have to contend with Bennett Allen. At this point, all Minto needs to do is hold off Wright and Allen. Unfortunately, both of those playoff drivers very skilled tonight. And we see Bennett Allen, wow, getting one heck of a run onto Minto. It shoves Mike Wright out of the way and perhaps off of the podium here as they cross the start-finish line. The white flag waves. We are racing back to checkers. As Brandon Minto gets to bring home the checkered flag, it looks like my microphone just cut out there at the end of the race. But Brandon Minto, Bennett Allen, Doug Argabright, Mike Wright, I think this is the furthest back I've seen him all season long. This is probably the first time I'm not talking to him at the end of a race. Followed by Andrew Jones, Ethan Flanagan, Joey Savage, John Crow Sr., Jeff Carson, and R.P. Allen round out the top 10. And with us right now, we should have Brandon Minto in the broadcast booth. Brandon Minto, Dave Regal in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, brother?
Got you.
Hey, man, listen, congratulations on this win. The pride of Norman, Oklahoma brings home the checkered flag here at basically your hometown track at Texas Motor Speedway. Kind of a wild finish here as it looks like Eugenio Alonso got sent to the end of the line, which opened the door for you to be able to get up there on the inside of row number 2. 2 green-white checker attempts ago, and here you are now bringing home that checkered flag. How are you feeling, brother?
I feel amazing. The fact that I was able to still somehow find a way to get this win. I definitely was not able to save tires like Mike Wright and Eugenio. They were doing amazing at saving tires. I don't know how Eugenio was able to stay right on Mike's bumper like that whole race and save that right front, because I tried to do that with them for a while, but I was able to hang in there about 5 or 6 laps. And then after that, I fell back to like 3 seconds after a few laps, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna keep trying to push this car. I just ended up lucking out with that whole Eugenio changing lanes before the start and everything. That really benefited me. Like, it sucks to win a race that way with somebody getting penalized, but I mean, if you break the rules, you got to pay the consequences.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things in any sport is that when somebody breaks a rule, or maybe not necessarily breaks a rule, but does something questionable, that does make that rule, suddenly get that little highlighter mark on your page to make sure that you're policing it a little bit harder. So I'm sure moving on in the season, they'll be keeping a closer eye on that. But I mean, yet again, here I am talking to a Ferda Motorsports driver. I was just telling our viewers that I think this is the first time all season long that I'm not going to be talking to your teammate, Mike Wright.
Yeah, it's unfortunate he's not going to be up here. I thought he finished 3rd, but I don't know. That whole last lap, I had tunnel vision, so I don't even really know where he finished or anything. But
tunnel vision's okay when you come home with the checkered flag in your hand, pal.
I guess I'll take it. Like, he's already probably we were joking around like before the race and everything, saying he got enough bonus points throughout the season that he probably couldn't, or he could probably not show up for a single race this whole time and still make the Final Four with how many bonus points. But man,
yeah, congratulations!
I still won this race.
Yeah, you got the upside Ford Mustang all dialed in here. And before we cut you loose, anybody that you need to thank for this run tonight?
Well, Mike, for one, like helping us out, giving us some, like, he's our, we consider him our crew chief. He gives us changes and everything that we need to make during pit stops. So Mike, props to him. Like, he drove a great race. Fortunate you're not going to get to interview him, but yeah, I want to give a shout out to him. The other Ferda boys, Ferda team, like, we always race well together. My parents both watching the race tonight. My mom and my dad. And then the squadron I'm in, the 344 training squadron, they were all tuning in tonight. Hopefully they all stuck around to watch me win this race. And then my girlfriend, Cassie, she allows me to come out here and race, do what I love, and doesn't give me too much crap. So, and then you also for putting on a great broadcast. I love watching the races.
Yeah, man, listen, this one turned into quite a long one, but needless to say, we got to the checkered flag. So congratulations. Go ahead and go celebrate there with your teammates, and we will see you next week at Talladega Superspeedway.
Yes, sir. See ya.
That is Brandon Minto, driver of the number 12 Upside Ford Mustang, as he is your Texas race winner right now. Going to switch on over here to Bennett Allen in the 3 machine. Bennett Allen, Dave Regal in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, brother?
Yes, sir.
The pride of Chattanooga, Tennessee brings home P2 tonight, as you fought hard all night long. Every time I went to your car, at any point, you were battling someone. You earned this tonight, and the car shows it as you've got some scars here. But obviously, how you feeling tonight?
Tired. There's no other words to describe the way I'm feeling right now, but tired and blessed. And that I have all these guys on Money House Racing and Propel Motorsports are always on my side, always helping us. So just huge thanks to everyone at Money House and Propel. And huge thanks to JCTV, Josh Coppernoll, for being able to sponsor my car. And allowed me to run kind of more of a primary sponsor that's more to my heart, with Mental Health Association of Alabama on the hood, or not on the hood, well, technically on the hood and on the side. Means a lot to me because I'm one of those people who struggles with mental health and all that. But we had a pretty mediocre day today. Bouncing in and out of the top 5 and top 10. We took some huge swings in stage 1 at the setup and huge swings in stage 2 at the setup and even at the pit stop. It helped a lot. Josh Ward was my crew chief. Josh Copperwell was my spotter. So everyone pitched in just a little bit tonight to help us get the second place finish. Part of me wants to think I could have got the win, but some things don't happen. But I'm just really proud of everybody and the huge effort this week to get this set up the best way we can get it. Texas is a hard racetrack to get a setup just built up to a T. So, just again, proud of everybody. And, depending on what happens Sunday, I'm going to Dega next week. So depending if it tropical storms on Talladega determines if I'll be there next week, but we'll see what happens.
All right, man. Well, listen, congratulations on that P2. Keep yourself safe if you're going to be going down there to Talladega. But we will definitely see you next Monday night at virtual Talladega Super Speedway, my man. And congratulations once again.
Thank you, Dave. Thanks for all you do.
Anytime. Always glad to do it. And right now, still looking for... Where did he go? Of course, here at the very end, I can't find our third place winner, our third place finisher, Doug Argabright. So, folks, I guess without being able to find Doug Argabright, I can call this another one in the books, as right now things definitely have heated up here in the playoff race, as your points leader, Mike Wright, does not finish on the podium for what I'm pretty sure is the first time all season. And of course, I'll have that stat for you next week. And we do want to take one more look here at the final results of this piece in Fort Worth, Texas. Brandon Minto, your race winner, followed by Bennett Allen and Doug Argabright on the podium. Mike Wright finishes in fourth, and Andrew T. Jones in the number 64 Chevrolet Camaro rounds out the top five. Ethan Flanagan and Joey Savacki finished 6th and 7th, with John Crow Sr. in 8th, Jeff Carson in 9th, and R.P. Allen in the 03 Toyota Supra rounds out your top 10. Justin Prater, John Bawalda, Matt Mackin, Bob Nestor, and Chris Claude finish out that top 15. Of course, Nestor was doing pretty well for a while, but got himself tied up. Commissioner Chris Claude from the Sunday Night NASCAR Cup Series, sponsored by Davis Brothers Roofing, finishing in 15th position. Eugenio Alonso finishing in 16th, with Matthew Helm, Zach Osborne, Michael Astuto, and Tony Burt finishing in 20th. Chad Sanner, Ian Humphreys, Corey Burkett, Anthony Paggio, Lauren Jones, and Aaron Mack round out the 26 drivers who started and where they finished tonight. So, they say everything's bigger in Texas, everything's longer in Texas, especially this race, as we had to go through 3 green-white checker attempts to get a winner tonight. But the bottom line is your winner is basically pleased with his performance tonight, as he has obviously punched his ticket in to the next round of the playoffs. So for everybody here on the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series, brought to you by Buck Kicker and RS Button Boxes, I'm Dave Regal here with the Independence Racing Network, proudly presented by Northeastern Fire and Air, saying good night, and tomorrow, as you go through your day, you find that one moment, and that good moment, that happy thought, and you hold that happy thought so you can fly. Good night, everybody.